I'm riding over the tops from the coast to the mountains east of the Cairngorms to meet one of Scotland's top cyclists. I'll be talking to Lee Craigie, a British mountain bike champion, record holder on the Highland Trail 550 and now author.
How did you get first though? I think you sort of owe that to your audience. You know, if I'm not going to give a little bit of myself, then why would anyone give up their time to read it?
I'm testing a new all-road bike from Norway, thrashing it off-road on the Dava Way.
I think I might be pushing the limits of this all-road bike.
And on the tilted tarmac of Scotland's snow roads.
That ride is just like a wall in front of me.
Then I'll ride to another coast to get the train back. It's a very different type of adventure for me, and I hope you'll enjoy the journey too.
I suspect I have a long but interesting day ahead. Well, now we're properly underway. I'll dig out the maps and let you know where it is I'm actually going today and why.
I'm starting at Forres on the coast and riding an off-road route, the Dava Way, to Grantam on Spey. There I'll switch to tarmac for the snow roads, tackle a series of climbs up to and passing the Lecht ski centre before descending to Ballater for my overnight. 60 miles, 4,700 feet of climbing. Tomorrow I'll meet Lee, then I'll ride 45 miles of the Deeside Way, mixing tarmac and off-road into the city of Aberdeen and try to take a train back to the start.
If you'd like to see a separate video of the Dava Way, then take a look at this one. It's in a set of videos that we call the Murray Gravel Triangle. Not 30 minutes in and already I've got a bit of a problem. One of the things I wanted to talk about was the bike, but we'll come on to that. But it has on it, you know, the fidlock system with the bottle that holds on by magnets. The luggage I'm using also has that system. 3 little magnets in there and it just clips on the bike. However, one of those magnets has fallen off, which is not a good thing, and I've only noticed it now and it's rattling to devil. And I'm frightened actually it's going to come off because I've got quite a bit of stuff in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unscrew one of the remaining ones and put it on the top where I think it'll do most good. But they actually just come off quite easily. Thank you. I'd forgotten how nice the Dava Way actually is. It's really beautiful and we're heading up to some fairly high remote ground too. If the weather's not right for some of the bigger trails like the Badger's Divide, or you don't have the time and you want to do something different, maybe not the Caledonia Way, then I would urge you to check out that Murray Gravel Triangle because it's a lovely, lovely route. You could do it in a day, it's kind of just over 100 miles, but far better to take a few days over it and have a nice little tour. It's really good.
And this mix of surface is a good test for the review bike I've been loaned. It's from a Norwegian brand, Fara, and it's described as an all-road bike. It's not a gravel bike with slicks, it's much more of a road bike with fatter tyres, 38mm in this case. And it's going well, up to a point.
I think I might be pushing the limits of this all-road bike because I have got the first puncture. If the soul of this bike is its road frame, then it must be looking at all this off-road muck that's caked all over it and it's thinking, what on earth is going on? And when is it going to stop? If I remember this rightly, we're getting quite close to Grantam. I thought I would be here by 9 and it's getting on for 11. There you are, little road bike frame. You're back on the road.
I've arrived just before Thunder in the Glens, the motorcycle rally, but the cafe's not too busy to rustle up an egg roll, or two. There's some climbing ahead.
This morning was slow, but it hasn't really taken much out my legs. Ah, but here's the sign I was looking for. Snow roads, scenic route, i.e. hilly.
It's certainly scenic, and although it's my first time riding here, I know it's a regular route for local cyclists, one of whom, Colin, just glided alongside me.
Yeah, we're heading out towards, on the main road out to Towel.
Towel, I wondered how it was said.
Oh, it's pronounced Towel, yeah. My mum's from, well, my family's from this part of the world.
Are these good roads to ride?
They're nice roads to ride. The surfaces are good. They're fairly quiet on the whole. You know,
Doesn't feel like it, but yeah.
just as all the cars come past.
Colin pushed on ahead after warning me to take care on the descent.
Oh man, look at that view.
It's just before the first stiff climb of today at Bridge of Brown.
Tom and Towel, Colin said. Tom and Towel. I think this is probably the best bet to try and catch some food before I head off up to the Lecht ski centre. So just out sorting my bags, and guess what's happened? The screw has pulled out. Well, that's not good. I wonder if it's ripped the threads. Oh, there's still some thread in there. It just must have come loose and dropped out.
That kept happening over the 2 days, and it would be easily fixed with a dab of Loctite when being assembled.
4.7 miles to the top, and it looks like 272. I think that's meters of elevation gain. That's quite a climb. These are the snow gates that they close every year when this road gets too bad. Yeah, the head unit's not wrong. That rise is just like a wall in front of me. We don't have many ski resorts in Scotland, but this is probably the closest of them that would give us an alpine type cycling climb. I suppose Glen as well, and that's the next one on the snow roads, but not for me today.
I'm talking about a 300-kilometre permanent audax called the Snow Roads. It takes in Glen, Cairn Mount and here at the Lecht. I wouldn't fancy that with bikepacking bags.
Good thing about this route is there's plenty of cafes, and there's another one here, so I am rather tempted.
Except bikes aren't allowed inside despite a rubberized floor.
Cafe upstairs.
And nowhere to lock or even see bikes from the cafe.
No, I don't think so. The cafe's upstairs. They really are quite horrible places out of season, aren't they? Ski resorts.
Just an ordinary day.
That's a heck of a view, isn't it?
Sun is peeking through.
One more snow road climb to go.
Feel the winds are changing as I breathe in air that's new. Flowers coming into bloom.
These really aren't the views I'm used to in the West Highlands. We have much spikier mountains.
I'm dropping into the Glen. The vegetation has changed. I'm following the River Glen.
This is, of course, Royal D-side, the King's House. And I don't mean the hotel. It's not too far from here, Balmoral Castle.
Today is nearly done. I've reached the town of Ballater, all neat and manicured as you'd expect of Royal D-side. I'm staying in the local hostel.
The dorm in the hostel last night was full. Obviously I had a snorer in the bunk above me. I find that wearing headphones and trying to listen to a radio or podcast makes me nod off to sleep quicker than earplugs. I think the in-ear headphones work better at blocking out the sound. I just leave them there even when the podcast stopped. My mission today is to record a podcast with Lee Craigie about her new book, Other Ways to Win. I've left a little bit early, and hopefully we're going to meet up in a little place just down the road here, and then find somewhere quiet to be able to chat. You must be mountain biker Lee Craigie. Good to see you again.
The full audio podcast is already live here on this YouTube channel, and also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, and anywhere you get your podcasts. We did a little bit on video too.
So I need to kind of half wheel you a little bit.
Oh, that old chestnut, eh?
So this is.
It had surprised me just how much personal information Lee had shared in the book.
I think you sort of owe that to your audience. You know, if I'm not going to give a little bit of myself, then why would anyone give up their time to read it? Although there are some really personal parts to that book, it's all a choice. Like, I've thought quite hard about the stuff that I want to share. There's nothing I've put out in that book that I was still sort of working through as a process, or I feel vulnerable about putting out to the world. Everything in that book was written because I hope that it might speak to other people and help connect with other people and make people feel like they're maybe not alone in the harder bits, that we all go through the stuff that I talked about in that book at some level or other. It's not unique, my experience isn't, well, yeah, of course it's unique to me, but you know, everybody has these feelings, and I think if we don't speak up about them, then we feel like we're alone.
So the bikes are there.
The bikes are there.
And this is how we record a podcast. Oh look, there's two people walking across the field.
Yes, it's a nature reserve.
The only disturbance was from a wren. Do check out the podcast and the excellent book.
I've just said goodbye to Lee, and I'm now going to plot my way back to Aberdeen. Maybe Deeside Way, maybe something else. We'll see. Right, well, thanks for parking that there. Feels like the outskirts of a big city. Thank you. Squeezing past. Thank you. Very good. This is probably a bit stupid, but it has only just dawned on me that as this is an old railway line, quite clearly, then it probably comes out at the railway station, which is why there's just over a mile to go and I'm still on what appears to be a lovely green corridor.
My train back was cancelled, but credit to ScotRail, they added extra coaches and bike places to the next train an hour later. These bike spots are easy to use, no hanging from hooks, and so luggage can stay in place. The journey back to Forres is a commuter run and took an hour and 40 minutes. This was quite a different adventure to the wild places I usually ride in these videos, and frankly, all the better for it. Do check out Lee's book and the Always Another Adventure podcast here on YouTube and everywhere else. I'll also do a video about the bike I've been riding. This is a much wilder adventure ride that I think you will enjoy, or perhaps try one of these videos, and I'll see you again next time. Goodbye.